Hey guys, what's good? Alright, so today I thought I'd talk about a little something different than what I normally do. Today I want to talk about what I do the most in terms of filmmaking, which is working in the music world. I want to talk about the difference between like a live music video setting and then like a proper film set. So first off, last couple of shoots that I've done actually have been live music videos, which is good to kind of freshly talk about seeing as they just happened. So first quickly, just before we start getting into things, normally when I do live shooting, I would get, like a sticky or a tour pass, just like one of these. See, so these are like a AAA pass that I got when I was working for Falls Festival. But on my recent shoot, I got something a little bit different. I got a t-shirt with a crew member part on the back. That's never happened before, and I thought that was pretty interesting, and it's actually kind of cool. It's like a cool memento to keep. This is when I worked with Hilltop Hoods just the other week for their DVD. I was one of the camera operators, and it was actually an insane show. They had 40-person orchestra, and it was like a massive hip-hop show, and it's actually the biggest that's ever been in Australia, so that's kind of cool. So with live music video settings, there are so many factors that go into it, and it's actually pretty stressful because you only have like a small window of time to actually get the shots that you need. So a music video that I just wrapped up, I did the most of the shooting in Melbourne and in Sydney, but also had footage from other camera operators in America and also here in Australia. So this shoot was pretty stressful, seeing as we only had a few limited shows to kind of compile all the footage together. But that just made it for a greater challenge. So the main shooting that we did was in Sydney for all the vocal takes, which you'll see once the video is out. And the venue that we're in is like a 2-level venue. It's called the Roundhouse in Sydney, if you want to Google and look that up. And I kind of knew an idea of what the venue was going to be like as I first saw the venue in the Parkway Drive DVD that came out in like 2008 or something like that. And then from various shows since then. So I knew straight away in the song that we were shooting for, I needed to be in that photo pit area to get the vocal takes. So what I normally do to prepare for that kind of song is I would take a photo of the set list and I would save it as the lock screensaver on my phone. That way I can kind of keep track on what's happening during the set, what song they're at, how long I have left, and figure out in my head what shots I have left to get. So basically, aside from that song, during the night I was running to the top part of the venue to get some big crowd shots. I was running to the back of the venue on the bottom level and also switching lenses between the camera, and it was like probably the sweatiest show that I've ever been to in my life. Challenges you may face when doing a live video is security is probably the #1 problem you will run into. Sometimes security are really bad, and even though you might have a AAA pass, they might not allow you in that photo pit area, and they're honestly just trying to do their job. They're making sure no kids are going to crush you or your camera gear, so you kind of have to work around those variables if they come up. And at one point during that shoot, I did get kicked out of that photo pit area because there were too many crowd surfers coming, and I was totally understandable of that, and I just ran out and went side of stage and kept shooting. So in your mind, you always got to have like a backup plan for those kind of situations, because they will happen and it will keep on happening throughout my career. Next big thing for live shooting is the lighting, obviously. Lighting is key for all videos, and you want to make sure the lighting is the best it can be. Luckily for us, we had a really good lighting engineer who killed it. He did a great job during the set, and I didn't have to worry about too much, except for one song that had like red lighting, and there was like another part with a bunch of strobes, but I made it work. So normally for a small show where there might not be a lighting technician, or there might be someone there just kind of putting on house lights or something, just talk to them and be like, hey, I prefer is there any chance you could do this? Or, I prefer if you didn't have red lighting or something like that, just to kind of help them make your life a lot easier. And don't be afraid to talk to them. I've only had problems with a couple of lighting guys, and again, I just kind of worked around the situation. So that type of environment is what I would call an uncontrolled environment. You don't really know what's going on. You kind of have to go with the flow, and you just hope that it works out the way that you want it to. Now for a proper music video, it's the complete opposite. You have full control of what's happening, you have your lighting there, you have the setting there, and everything is just going to work the way that you hopefully want it to. The best thing about music video sets is that you can take your time. You don't have like just an hour to get all the shots that you need. So you can really think and plan out on the shots on your edit and how it's going to turn out. In my recent music video that I have just finished rendering just then, as I heard my computer finish, the shoot went really well. I was actually staying where we were shooting, so I actually had a couple of days to prepare, and I scoped out you know, the setting that we had, the lighting that I would need, and all of that type of back work. The issues that you might run into on a music video set is lighting. Sometimes like a lighting globe will blow. It happened on one of my most recent shoots, but luckily I had backup lights and I just used those. So it's always important just to spend that little bit of extra money just to cover your ass and make sure that nothing, that even if a light goes out, you can chuck one back up, turn on and keep shooting. I learned this lesson from one of my previous shoots a couple of years ago when we decided to use natural lighting, and unfortunately a storm came through and we had a very limited window of time to get all the shots that we need, and we did all the band performance shots in like an hour and a half, and that was pretty stressful, but luckily we got everything that we needed. Other issues you might run into when you're on a music video set is band members running late. Happens a lot, but I'm not stressed about it. I'm very used to it. So now when that happens, I can work around it and either shoot more of the narrative part of the video if it's in the same location, or just shoot other band members. The other issue that you might come across on a music video set is noise complaints. It has happened countless times within my music videos. I've had police rock up and so on and so forth. But my best advice for you guys is shoot during the daytime where you legally can make as much noise as you can and they can't really do anything about it, especially if it's on private property or if you've hired a location and you have all the right paperwork to be there. One of my music videos in Sydney, a bunch of police officers showed up and they were actually pretty relaxed, which is surprising. And I just turned to them and I was like, hey guys, like look, we nearly finished shooting here. I have all the permits that we need. Just let us have a couple more hours and we'll be out of your way. And they were actually pretty relaxed about it. And that goes on to my next point, which is permits. Now, permits are always interesting. I've had one of my music videos shut down because I thought we had the right permits, but we didn't, and I lost a lot of money because of that. So it's always important to always make sure that you have the right permits to be there and you've triple checked that you are allowed to be there and there's going to be no issues whatsoever. All my other advice for music video sets is backups for everything. I have backup memory cards in case one dies, backup batteries in case it dies. I have multiple hard drives I have on set, and I back up on set as well, just in case something happens to the files while they're transferring. So even though music video sets are more controlled, there are a lot more logistics to it. So it is pretty stressful on the day. But if you have backups of everything, and you know if something happens, it can be replaced like that, then it'll make your day a lot easier. And you don't have to stress about things and you can focus more on getting the shots that you need and just having a good time on set. And that brings to my last point. The last point I have for you guys is be positive towards every single shoot that you do. If you go in with a positive mindset, I assure you that it's going to turn out great. There are times where I've gone onto set and been somewhat unsure on how it's going to go out because sometimes you show up on set and you haven't been able to have access to the location prior and you're a bit unsure on how it's going to look in the end. But if you just keep with the positive mindset, you know, the next day you might look back at the footage and you're like, wow, that's actually really good. Like, footage turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to be due to the environment that we were in. So that's my rundown of like a live music video and then a proper music video set. I hope you found this information useful for anyone that wants to be doing music videos. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out where I can. Just remember guys, these are my opinions. I know that other people have other mindsets and views on it, and that's okay. There's not a wrong answer in this whole filming world. It's just different ways of executing things. So thanks again for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And then until next time, I'll see you next Wednesday.